Welcome to Under Pressure. I'm your host, Tasha Gainey. Barry Bailey is not with us today, and I have a special guest, Tracy Cooper from Daylight Foundation.
Good morning.
Good morning. So today we're going to talk about teenage suicide. Um, Tracy Cooper has been a product of her young son. She's going to tell you a little bit more about her foundation, so I'll let her talk to you more.
Good morning. I am a survivor of a child who committed suicide. My son's 23 years old. Good kid, basically good kid, athlete, strong kid, honor scholar athlete. Apparently, unknown to us, was going through some inner stressors. He decided to take his life. And I know we were discussing what the effects it will have on the family, but for me, his choice of method was my duty weapon, because at the time I was a Camden police officer. My son was 23 years old, and for 20 years, I kept my gun on lock, stock, and barrel.
Okay.
Because I've raised 5 children in my home, him being the only boy, 4 girls. For the first time, I left it unlocked because he was an adult, you know? And I thought that we had crossed all the bridges that would lead to them playing with it, utilizing it, because I taught them gun safety. I taught them everything they needed to know, but for some reason, this day, and I've come to learn that didn't have to be my gun, it would have been that day. That day would have been the day he chose to take his life.
What? Wow. So, how many years ago was that?
It'll be 3. He took his life January 1st, 2012. Apparently, because of social media, we found out through a tweet. He tweeted 1:20 p.m. All is good, God bless. Yeah. So people were retweeting, not knowing what the tweet was for. And when my younger sister went home, she found his body.
Wow. And so prior to that, Tracy, there was no indication, nothing.
You know, what do you determine as indication? Because he was a typical teen. He had an attitude when you wouldn't let him use the car. If you didn't have enough money to let him go on the date that he wanted to go to, he maybe would have an attitude. But outside of that, no, there weren't any indications. Okay. He was an honor student in high school, graduated number 9 in his class. He went on to college. Now, he had some issues at college. He was a football player, so he had some issues, as most kids. He went to a D1 school, kind of didn't fit in. He went to a D2 school, full paid, still wasn't the right element for him. Mm-hmm. But then he ended up at Delaware Valley College, which was a great fit for him. He went there for 3 years. He blossomed, was an excellent student, model athlete, and he did well. He continued to do well. So as far as any signs, no, other than normal teen stuff. Video games. He stays in his room and plays video games. He listened to Lil Wayne, the usual teen stuff, but nothing that we could see.
Nothing that you could say. So that particular day, he happened to he took the weapon out of the box. Do you think like maybe he was trying to clean it, or you actually think he?
No, unfortunately for me, and this will be the first time I divulge this, and I guess you're giving me a platform. He videotaped it.
Oh wow!
And only 4 people in my family know that there's a videotape that exists. His intent was to kill himself, along with. Using a gun. He had went to a local neighborhood liquor store, had got a bottle of alcohol, took some pills with the alcohol, I guess to calm his nerves, and he utilized the weapon.
Wow. So how are you dealing with that, like right now? What is your outlet? What has your outlet been? My outlet had been definitely to pray, to make sure that my family knows, because my family kind of leaned on me as by me being a police officer, I've always been, a gladiator, warrior in my family. So, I just had to let them know that we can get through this. But we have to be more aware of what's going on. We definitely leaned on prayer. I leaned on God like nobody's business. I mean, I knew God before, but I think he became my best friend. Because I had to figure out a way to pick myself up and not to blame myself, because as a parent you want to blame yourself. Right.
What did I miss? Did I not give them enough? Did I give them too much? Right. Was I so focused on work and being mom that I missed the small things that maybe could have been a trigger? So I had to figure out what direction I need to go in before I can hold my other children up. Because my other children, who were his best friends, felt like they felt him. His male best friend, who played football with him, he felt like he felt him. His teammate, everybody were feeling guilty. So I had to figure out what to do to help these people to get out of this guilt. So what I did was I went to therapy.
Okay.
I sought out a therapist that deals with women that are involved in traumatic situations. And once I became comfortable in who I was and knowing that it would have happened regardless. One thing about suicide I learned through dealing with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is that when someone makes up their mind to commit suicide, they're going to do it.
Right.
You never know the time, the day, the hour, but once they make it up in their mind that they're going to do it, they're going to get it done. You know, and it may not have been with my weapon. It may have been something else.
Right.
But his mind was made up. So I had to, like I said, you know, find an outlet. And my outlet became wanting to talk to people. Suicide is not discussed in the inner city.
Okay.
Suicide is not discussed among young athletes.
Not at all.
We don't realize young athletes are under a lot of pressure. They're under pressure to stay fit. They're under pressure to stay academically eligible. They're under pressure to win. They're under pressure to, for some of our children, if you're in a community like we lived in, which is Camden, if you're a star athlete, you carry the weight of the city on your back because the city wants you to succeed so you can let it be known that more than bad things come out of Camden. We have NBA players, NFL players, track and field runners. You know, we have soccer pros. So the weight of the city sometimes on these athletes' backs.
You are absolutely right. I go when I see a star athlete, I see the whole city there. The losing team, no support. Winning team, right on.
So it's a lot of pressure for kids, and I just think that kids need to know it's not a sign of weakness just to speak to someone if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling like nobody understands what you're going through, it's okay to speak out. And I'm developing a foundation. It's called the Daylight Foundation. And what my goal and my plan it's not completely up and running yet, but what my goal and plan is to do is to bring awareness to suicide and ultimately provide outlets and numbers and hotlines for prevention.
Okay, and you're going to do this, but you do things in the school right now, though.
Yes, I do. Because the foundation is doing its baby steps.
Okay.
I started a scholarship. What I do is, unfortunately, I have to go where I know. And I know male football players because my son was a male football player. Okay. So my scholarship is designed right now. I support one Camden High senior football player. Okay. We do two facets to my scholarship. What I do is the first facet is through an essay. Okay. Every senior football player does an essay, and we provide them with a prom makeover. Okay. And what that does is I get them a custom tailored suit, shirt, shoes, haircut, tickets to the prom, and transportation. Okay. It helps their families, financially, because prom is a rough time for some people. Right. But in the midst of all of that, I provide them with information about my son, because a lot of them are younger than my son, and a lot of the guys that play football still know my son because my son came back and he helped coach at Whitman Park, which is a Pop Warner League. Okay. He helped come back at doing when he could. He would help with the defense at Camden High. So some of the young men now, the juniors and seniors, still know who he is. Okay. But as the years go on and he's not around, I kind of just want his name to live on and what he went through and what he experienced. So I kind of at that point use that platform to let the kids know who Amadeus was. Okay. And what Amadeus represented, and why we as a family are trying to let Amadeus's name live on and let his tragedy be a testament or a lesson for someone else. Okay. So
go ahead.
I'm sorry. We also give out a monetary scholarship, and the monetary scholarship last year was $500. Hopefully, it'll grow to be $15. But what we do is, any senior football player who has a 3.2 GPA or better, that's going off to college playing football at a 4-year institute, they get the monetary award.
I think that's awesome. So right now, you do that for one inner city high
one
school.
City. Our goal with the foundation is to take it to another level. I'm trying to take the steps that I need to get different certifications so I can wholeheartedly speak out and have more knowledge about the prevention. Like right now, I know statistics that every 13.7 minutes, a teenager commits suicide. Yeah. That's at a high rate. And that's the last statistic going back 2 years ago. So, those statistics are steadily growing. Those facts are steadily growing. We want to cut those numbers down. So I'm trying to attend classes and courses so I can be more certified and more knowledgeable, statistically wise, in how to speak out to help these kids and show these kids what the numbers look like so we can kind of work on changing it.
Okay. How many, have you had opportunity to speak to any young people one-on-one about maybe thoughts, or have anyone ever come to you and talk to you like, oh, Miss Cooper, thank you so much, you really,
It's crazy because I don't get the conversations for suicide as much as I get the conversation for support. When they hear what I have gone through and what they hear that my family has gone through. A lot of young kids reach out to me because a lot of them are lost. And what I mean by lost is they don't have family support. They don't have a home environment. Have they ever thought about suicide? They have not yet said. But they do say that they suffer from depression. They just would like someone to talk to. They would like to have access to different things. And do I have numbers of places where they can go for teen groups and where they can sit amongst people of their peers and just talk and have a comfort level and a comfort zone. I've also been contacted through the staff at the school where there was a young lady who posted, of course, social media, people can look at it sometimes as the devil, but sometimes it's a gateway to get into people's homes. A young lady posted that she was about to kill herself.
Wow.
I don't know the young lady, but a teacher that knows me immediately contacted me. What should we do? What are our steps? So I had to explain to them, call EMS, contact the mother. Right. You guys get there. You guys get there. If it takes the principal, the guidance, whoever your little group is, just get to her home. Get there as soon as you can. Get there alongside with EMS to let her know she has a support team, and kind of walk everybody through it. Because again, as a parent, you're mad, you're sad, you go through all these emotions. You're angry because you say to yourself, why would you do this?
Right.
What have I done so bad in your life that makes you want to do this? But then you have to realize it's not about you. And I had to realize it's not about me. So when I got the phone call about the one young lady, when I sent the teachers to her, I said, somebody's got to talk to mom and let mom know she needs to calm down. Because I know mom was probably going through the roof.
Right.
She needs to calm down, and we need to look at this at a different angle, for help for the daughter and probably help for mom. Because the family goes through turmoil.
I was going to ask, how are your young daughters doing right now?
My younger daughter, who's now 21, who's a junior at Clark Atlanta College, she ran. She literally ran. My son was her best friend.
Okay.
She decided I no longer wanted to be in New Jersey, and I'm running. I'm going to go to the furthest school I could possibly get to be away from all of this. So she's doing well, but she's a psychology major. Oh, wow. So she found an advisor in school who has a personal office, and she kind of talks to her advisor and talks to different people. And I had to let them know too that she needed to speak to somebody. Now my oldest one is totally different.
Okay.
She hasn't spoke to anybody, won't speak to anybody. She cries, she listens to music, and because she's an adult, I don't see her suffering from depression, but I see her not voicing how she feels. So I'm constantly watching her, and I'm constantly telling her, if you want to talk. And we went back to the whole huggy, everybody needs hugs. We're there, we're okay, we're going to be okay. And my oldest daughter has a great friend base. Her friends are phenomenal.
Okay.
And because they were all friends of my son, they're all kind of going through the same thing. So when they get in their little girl group, they're talking and, sharing things. So it's working out, just basically talking.
All right. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the foundation and how people can get in contact with you.
Sure.
For independent living for seniors age 62 and over, People Inc. offers safe, maintenance-free apartments across Western New York. The affordable rent is income-based. For more information, call People Inc. Senior Living at 817-9090.
Looking for a cooking oil with a light flavor and reduced absorption so food preserves its natural flavor? One with a high smoke point for stir-frying, sautéing, grilling, and baking? Then choose all-natural Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil, imported from France. Grapes have been a key ingredient of the healthy Mediterranean diet for years. Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil is the chef's choice for high-heat cooking, grilling, stir-frying, sautéing, or even deep frying. And And Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil is great for baking too, because its delicate taste does not overwhelm the flavor of cakes, cookies, and other favorite recipes. A key traditional ingredient of the Mediterranean, grapeseed oil is a rich source of vitamin E antioxidant and naturally gluten-free. Buy imported Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil today and find great recipes at Pompeian.com.
Wait, don't let this happen to you. At Jan Fence, we're family owned and operated for over 50 years, providing a wide choice of fencing. Why wait online at the big box store? Just call Jan Fence. Ask about our Easy Fence to Go products by Active Yards, the first truly do-it-yourself fence product.
At Jan Fence, we always do what we say. Come see us today.
Step into an extraordinary world that will excite your senses. Experience our delectable Mughlai cuisine and the magic of tandoori savoir-faire. Let our international award-winning team delight you with a taste of heaven. Enjoy our mouth-watering flavors and our unique flair for excellence. Savor the elegance of fine dining and catering. Shazam Restaurant in
Welcome back. I'm your host, Tasha Gainey, and this is Under Pressure with our guest today, Tracy Cooper. So Tracy, before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about your children, about your son that committed suicide 3 years ago, and the things that your outlet and how you're dealing with the pressure of losing your son. I think you're doing great things in the community. I think that you took that. You know, sometimes tragedies in our life are learning experiences, and you took that tragedy and you actually ran with it to help our young people in our community. And I think as the time goes on and your foundation grows, it's going to go larger than Kansas City.
I believe it. I have faith in it because, it's crazy because you find that during these type of times, you need support. And I just basically keep my son's friends, the guys he played football with, I keep all of them on a close leash now. They're all my children. Mm-hmm. I just make sure I reach out to them, make sure they're all really doing well. They've gone on, majority of them graduated from college, they got jobs and they're starting families. And we all reach out, we all get together often, just to live in my son's memory. But I believe it's going to go big because I've watched different shows and I see a lot of athletes now coming forth saying that they have mental illness, saying that they thought about committing suicide, saying that then when they were in their early 20s they didn't know that it shouldn't be normal, but it is normal. They go through these emotions, they go through these things, and they didn't know who to reach out to. So I'm hoping this does grow. I'm claiming it, that it is going to grow, okay. And that we could take it to another level so more people can get involved and more people can be honest with what they're feeling, I
have a question. Why do you think a lot of our athletes, or at least our young men, why are they so afraid to talk about if they are going through depression or if they're suffering from some kind of mental illness?
First of all, I would say this: to be physically fit and to be top notch as an ex-athlete, you believe in your mind that you're a warrior. That's the mentality you develop. Mm-hmm. From the time you're 4 or 5 years old. They want you to be stronger. They want you to be faster. You can't show no pain. You can't show no mercy. You have to run through pain. You have to play through hurt. So with that being said, your emotions shut down. With the winning attitude sometimes becomes the lack of emotion. Okay. Because now I'm focused on me. I'm a winner. I'm strong. I'm the fastest. So why would I cry? Okay. Why would you see a lot of athletes, even on another note, they get hurt. They don't want nobody to see them cry. You can't see me cry because you build up this warrior mentality and you think it's a sign of weakness if I tell you I'm hurting emotionally. I'm emotionally hurting. My mind is racing. I have to be at the gym at 6 a.m. tomorrow, but I have a paper that's due at midnight that I haven't even started. The stress of it all, when you raise athletes, nobody's raising them to worry about themselves. Okay. It's just to focus on what their task is at hand.
And I agree, because I'm thinking of I'm never an athlete, but I look at the athletes and I'm like, when do they rest? When do they find time for themselves? 2-a-day workouts and, and I never really see them cry, or go through pain. And I'm like, they can't be 100% all the time. But you know,
when you're starting with these young adults and you're starting them at 6 years old, that's the only mentality they know is to be 100%. Because think about every kid you ever talk to that ran track. Leave it all on the track. You got 2 minutes. Leave it all on the track.
Right.
But that 2 minutes may be the longest 2 minutes of their life.
Yeah.
You know, provided other things may be going on. And God forbid if you add into dating, the others, you know, dealing with the opposite sex. For some athletes, their personal sexuality on top of academics. It's just a lot that young adults go through. And we think back on it because we've went through it. And we went through it successfully as adults now and parents. Because we went through it okay, we think everybody's going to go through it okay, but everybody doesn't. And the times have changed, definitely.
Yes. Surely. We talk about social media, and social media can be a good and a bad thing.
Yes.
But, you know, sometimes social media, I'm like, oh, my goodness. Like, some stuff that people put on social media is like, come on. And then it's like, it hurts our young people. Like, especially, like, if I'm an athlete and I drop the ball, young people can be mean sometimes.
Yes.
And they attack us, and we're like, oh, my goodness. Like, oh, I don't even want to catch the ball again.
Yeah. and you know, and it's, like I said, social media can be a good tool or a bad tool. Sometimes you have people that go on there who are saying a lot, and you think that they're divulging their business, but they're crying out for help. Okay. And everybody's like, oh, they're just giving up too much of their business. But sometimes people are using social media as an outlet for good things and bad things and all the things in between. So you kind of sometimes just have to wean through it, you know, and with the negative that comes with athletes and social media, as a parent or as a support system, as a trainer, as a whomever you may be to that athlete, now it's that time for us to hug, you know, it's going to be okay, you know, this is what they do, this too shall pass.
Okay.
Because you can't hold on to everything, and when you hold on, it builds up. And a lot of build up, the old saying goes, pressure busts pipes. Right. And when things build up, the ultimate result for some people end in tragedy.
Okay. What do you do on that day, that January? June 1st, right?
Yes. The very first June 1st that came about was June 1st, 2013. I ran.
Okay.
Because I thought everybody was going to be, for a long time, because of who I was, people didn't know what to say to me when they see me. And I got the big googly eyes, the deer in the headlight eyes. Like, do I say something to her? Is she okay? Do I say hi? So when the year anniversary came up, I ran. I went to Washington, D.C. and just wanted to bask in the fact that we had a black president and just bask in the good things that life had to offer in 2013. Okay. But 2014, June 1st, we got together, we did a walk out Cherry Hill.
Okay.
Another mother whose son committed suicide, she has a group, and she does a walk every year. So okay. My group of people interacted with her group of people. Now we walk. Okay. And we walk and we raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, okay. So we can get money out there to get prevention groups and get, you know, the suit to pay for the hotline and things of that nature. So last June we walked. This June we also will walk, but hopefully we'll have a launching for my website. Okay. So the foundation will actually be launched, God willing, on June 1st. Okay. Website will go up. Everything will go up. We'll have maybe a little get-together, meet and greet. We always release balloons okay. to let him know we're still here for him, we think about him, and to celebrate who he was.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more. What are you planning on doing on June 1st? Tell me a little bit more about the foundation.
Okay. I have a selected board of his friends, my friends, financial people, NFL, a young man who's a coach, on the coaching staff of one of the NFL teams. We all gotten together and decided we wanted to do the foundation. So what we're going to do June 1st is, hopefully the website will go up for Daylight Foundation. We all have, a couple of us have our certs to speak out for suicide prevention and awareness. And we're going to take it on a national level, hopefully start speaking in schools. We're still, the scholarships will go forward. We'll start doing fundraisers. We'll do more walks. We'll do more knowledge, more health fairs. I'll have more information out. But June 1st, 2015 will definitely be my kickoff to what is known as Daylight Foundation.
Okay. So we're going to get ready to wrap up. What would you like to tell our viewers today?
First off, I would like to say if you need to contact me and need any information or need it to be leaded in the right direction, my email is tracyhall112@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook, Tracy Hall Cooper. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter for all the young people that may be listening. One quick thing, if you know anybody that's going through anything, there's a National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. I just want to wish everybody good luck, and if you know anybody that's going through anything, just be an ear.
Thank you. So once again, this is Tasha Gainey Humphrey with Under Pressure. Thank you again, Tracy. Like us on Facebook.
Your taste buds.
In a world where bankers have lost all interest, where robots and fat cats rule our fortunes, one woman will stand up and strive to do the impossible. Be treated like a person. Friends and neighbors will join her quest. Ordinary people will band together against the forces of corporate greed. And together they will form Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, already in a neighborhood near you.
Imagine the finest hand-selected USDA prime steak you'll ever have. The freshest